Okay, so if you're thinking about doing E-blends, that's mixing E85 with regular gas, you're going to need these four things. Gas can, I'd get the smallest one because all you're doing is getting some test E85 from your gas station, and you just don't want a lot of it. All you're doing is just being able to test it and be eco-friendly, not spilling gas all over the ground and all that good stuff. The next thing you're gonna need is a nice thin funnel, because you're gonna basically take this and pour it into the funnel to get it into this tester. And I'll put a link to where to buy this tester. They're inexpensive. Next thing you need is water. Don't use tap water, I wouldn't recommend that. Just use bottled water. Fill it to this fill line, and then you'll put in the funnel and stand everything up, of course, and then pour in your E85. Put it in there. Then you're gonna shake well to mix it all up. Then you're gonna set it on a table or something, and then watch it. And I'll put up some pictures on the screen so you can see the difference and what happens over time as the water is separating the E85 from the gasoline, and give you a good idea of how long it really takes to get the final reading, just so you're not guessing. So now we're going to go over the ethanol test. After 5 minutes, the test still showed E85, and so now this image will show you after 15 minutes, we're at E80. Now after 28 minutes, it's showing E75. Then at 40 minutes, still E75. And then at 60 minutes, still E75. So I can conclude that after 28 minutes, it's not gonna go any lower, and that is your accurate reading. So you don't have to wait an hour. You can wait 28 minutes based off of this. It might be a little bit shorter, maybe it's at 25. You can kind of see every 10 minutes or so, you go down about 5 points until it hits its final reading. Okay, so here's the E85 calculator. I just want to give a shout out to Turbo6TA at K5 Owners Forum for sharing this website. From MPT Performance, I'll have a link in the description. So basically how you use this is you type in the gallons to fill. So for the Kia K5s, GT line for sure is a 15.8 gallon. You can select the mix that you desire, and E30 is the max. You can do a calculate, and it'll tell you how much ethanol to how much gasoline to be in your tank to get that mix. So that's a very generic calculator. And the disclaimer, they have a disclaimer on here that, again, it's up to you, and these are all estimates, so that's why I'm showing you how to test your ethanol. So this is if the E85 was actually E85, but we all know that gas is not created equal. So that's why we test it. So if we know our total is 15.8, and we know on here on the estimate it's a 4.21 ethanol, you can scroll down to the advanced calculator. Let's just go ahead and put in 4, and then we tested our ethanol count at 75, so we'll go ahead and enter that. And then so we know it's a total of 15.8, so we'll do the difference here. And if you're not good at math, don't even try ethanol mix. Just stay away from it, or have a friend do all the calculations for you. So here, go ahead and type in your octane. In Texas, we only have 91. Almost all of our Texas blends, gas is blended with 10%. So this is a number that most people don't keep in mind or calculate, and that's where you can mess up your engine and destroy your car if you don't estimate the automatic 10% that already comes with it. So now if I do calculate, It'll tell me, okay, at this mix, it'll give me E26. So you can see this is not the E30 that we're looking at above. Even if we do we'll do 4.2. See what happens. Adjust down here for keep it equal to the 15.8. Recalculate. Okay, so we'll get E27, but it's still not E30. So on here, you wouldn't get E30 until you're about, I think it's 4.7. Nope. Yeah, not until you get 4.8, based off of the specific location I tested. Again, you have to test your location. I tested in a nice neighborhood because usually nice neighborhoods get nicer gas and different products because guess who's supporting the business owners. It makes sense. So go to a nice area of town, check the ethanol content there, and you can prove me wrong by going to the bad end of town, test the ethanol, and see if it's exactly the same. But usually I see quality change in different products depending on what side of town you're on. So yeah, this is how you get it for E30. Again, Kia says do not go above E15, so let's see what we could get for E15. So I'm gonna guess, let's just start around here, recalculate. Okay, so it's probably gonna be 1.2 is my guess. Yeah, so you can add a gallon or 1.2 gallons of E85 to hit the max mixture that Kia recommends to get the most performance out of your car. And so you can see what it did in my octane. It took it up to 92, so it's giving me a little bit more. But that is the recommended Kia safe area. Now, if you are running JB4 and everything, you'll look at what I did before, and you want to run somewhere. It can be any of these blends. You can run E15 on map 2 and 3. I haven't tested it at that low. You just have to check for NOx once you run the app and all that stuff. But it's usually E20 and above, between E20 and E30. I run a conservative E26, E27 max in my tank, and no issues so far. And here you see the note. All data is extrapolated from these calculators and purely estimates. They try to make accurate data. They're not liable for damages, issues, or incidents caused by the use of these tools provided on our website, nor am I liable because I'm just an artist, like my site says, but I'm just sharing helpful information. And at the end of the day, you do what you can afford to do to your car and only on the things you can afford to replace. So that's my advice to you. Do what you can afford. But this is just one of the tools that helped me and just wanted to share it with you. Okay, so one last thing I want to show you is there's a difference between summer and winter blend gasoline for obvious reasons based on where you live, if things freeze and all that stuff. Make sure you do your homework. I'll put a clip or a link below. And there's different requirements for different states and where they're at. But just want to let you know that, hey, keep in mind that you're going to have to test often and based on the blends changes. And here's the dates, May 1st and September 15th. There you go.